Welcome back. Two party faithful who spoke to us earlier on our breakfast program, Sunrise Daily, this morning, Deji Adeyanju and the APC publicity secretary in that state. They did say, well, they were trading blames, and for the PDP, they still believe that someone went ahead to plant a candidate who is not a member of the PDP, and it all came from the APC. Perhaps Ken Okolugbo is still here. He should tell us more on what he thinks some party members have been saying on this election. Do you think that for someone like Mr. Ibrahim, it is right for you to term his emergence as an act of some moles trying to infiltrate the PDP from the APC?
I don't understand why people see it from that perspective. Justice Abanks gave his judgment on the 29th of June. We didn't have a Jimoh Ibrahim or an Eyitel Jegede then. The thing that surprised me most is Mimiko happens to be the chairman of the Governors Forum, PDP Governors Forum. And being the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, it behaved on him to take the bull by the horn. But he abdicated that responsibility to Governor Wike, who we like a lot, though, and Fayose, and did not assume the position of leadership. And that is the price he has had to pay. When you talk of a mole, you can't call Jimoh Ibrahim, no matter what you want to say, a mole. Remember when Mimiko was coming back to the party? The likes of Jimoh Ibrahim fought that he shouldn't be allowed back in the party, and Olushola okay. And one of the reasons they fought was because Mimiko, when he went to Labour Party, took a couple of people with him in Agagu's government. And those are the same people he used to bring down Agagu's government. And by the time he was coming back, he insisted that he must take over the entire structure of the party in Ondo State. And so some of them couldn't stomach it, and that was why Olushola left our party, who was our legal advisor for 16 years. But if you look at the elections, Sulai, if you look at the results of the elections, it was clear that if you added Oke's votes to Jegede's
that's where I was headed, because
it
would seem as if
PDP would have won.
If the PDP had its act together,
yes.
Definitely it's maybe this would have been.
Why would we be talking about moles? Why are we blaming APC? As much as everybody knows how I feel about this APC government, and I criticize the APC government.
For how long are we still going to go about?
We should stop.
For how long are we still going to talk about the internal democracy
of the PDP?
Of the PDP?
I think APC also
had thought that after 2015,
yes,
the PDP would have learned a lesson.
I agree with you. I thought after we lost that election, we would have learned our lessons, and not even only learning our lessons. The present position of trying to play God the way Obasanjo played God. When Obasanjo was removing people from the party, when he had contact people, circumventing the chairman in the state, Obasanjo was the commander-in-chief, for God's sake. He had gotten his second term of office. He had the SSS, he had the police, he had the INEC, he had all the paraphernalia of office. But look at the governors who are trying to remove people from the party. What do they have? Apart from maybe Wike, that is working very, very hard in his state. If you have to go an extra mile to show people that you're going to sell this party, we have seen that it's dry voting that is going on now. Nobody's writing election results anymore. So we must appeal to the people. You keep saying this person is not important, this person is not important. Like you rightly said, at this point, we should be looking at gathering enough people to take this party out of the woods. Because now we are reduced to 11 governors.
Do you see that coming? Because for so many, they thought the return of Mimiko to the PDP, yes, would have added some huge gains to the PDP.
You see what happened
with the PDP. But with a moment here, but with the Modus Sheriff faction and the faction of what's the other faction now? I think Modus Sheriff faction and the McCarthy faction. A lot of people thought by now they should have been able to move away for a neutral person to take the affairs of the PDP into the next election.
And that's exactly what we're asking for. We're asking for a convention. We're asking for a convention so we can elect our leaders without people breathing down our necks. I don't know where we can learn this lesson of not getting leaders that will want to foist, whether you're popular, you're not popular, just because you're loyal to a certain bloc, you want to foist these leaders on the people. And that's exactly what we are asking for. And you see, at this material point in time, you saw the congratulatory message from Bola Ahmed Tinubu to Akeredolu. It was very matured. No matter what, everybody knew that Tinubu did not support Akeredolu. But he's thinking of moving ahead. What I expect us to do now in PDP is to go into a soul searching at this material point in time. Do we need all these court cases now? Do we need to continue with all these court cases? Or do we shred the umbrella into pieces so that we can know it's to your tent, to Israel? Because at this material point in time, with what has happened in Ondo State is a clear case of, it's sad because we are the lowest point economically in this country. We are the third quarter negative, which is depression as far as I'm concerned. And one would have thought that if you're carrying out an election like this in this kind of time, this is the time PDP should have taken advantage of checkmating the APC. But I'm ashamed, because when I see the figures of that election in Ondo, it is very clear that the APC is still fully much on ground and in charge.
There was also low voter turnout.
If you say low voter turnout, it's about 500,000. Remember that Mimiko had 260,000 votes in the 2012 election. Oke had 155,000 votes for PDP, and Akeredolu had 143,000 votes. So check it. Now, Akeredolu had 244, Jegede had 150, and Oke had 126. So it's not so, the difference is not much. So when we talk about low voters turnout, let's go back to history. What am I saying? What I'm saying here is that Mimiko, who already came with a strength of 260,000 votes, now reduced himself to 150. Because I keep saying it's not Jegede's fault. It was a referendum on Mimiko. He reduced himself to 150 because he refused to carry people along. Most of the people that fought to bring down the PDP, those who left the PDP to join the APC, in Ondo, because of no internal democracy.
But if you look at it, if you put it on a scale and you say because of the economic downturn that we're witnessing, that would have been some kind of gains for the PDP. And you put that side by side with what also is happening in Ondo State, workers' salaries haven't been paid for as long as 6 months. Don't you think that it was putting the people between the devil and the deep blue sea?
Mimiko is not the only one that is not paying. Mimiko is not the only one that is not paying salaries.
But there
are a lot of APC governors.
That's where the election. That's where the election took place.
How many civil servants do we have as voters? There are a lot of APC governors that are not also paying salaries. Mimiko, whether I like it or not, I'm condemning him in this program, but he did a lot of work in Ondo. You must agree. Even the people that went for these elections agreed that Mimiko did a lot of work in Ondo. But you see, the attitude towards the party was why we lost this election. If you had to take improvement on structures in Ondo, even during the debates, if you notice what happened during your channel's debate, most of them didn't condemn Mimiko in terms of infrastructural development.
And in moving ahead, which is the Anambra election, one more to go for 2017. Very quickly here, if we can do this in 40 seconds, what do you think the PDP stand to gain in that election if this is still what they're about?
Well, Peter Obi, who is the leader of the party, was the one that brought Obiano, interestingly, the present governor in Abga. So that leaves a lot to be desired. Even though they're having a lot of differences and a lot of squabbles, Peter Obi performed as a governor, and it behaves on him now to allow the process in Anambra to be free and fair, and not the same situation he had when he imposed Obiano on the people. I think he must have learned his lessons.
And you think the PDP stands a chance in that election?
Oh, we stand a big chance because Peter Obi is a very saleable candidate. So whoever emerges free and fair, Peter Obi comes behind that person. The person is sure to win.
Ken Okogbu, many thanks for speaking with us on
Thank
Politics
you. It's always
today.
my pleasure.
That's our program tonight. Many thanks for being part of the show. I'm Sulaiman Alede. Bye for now.